Hi, Brandon Driver here with Electric Auto Squad. The Roadster has been delayed, and I actually think that this is a really good thing. I'm going to explain why. I'm going to keep this a short video. I'm also going to work to earn your like and subscribe by the end of this video, so check in with me at the end to see if I did so. Firstly, it's delayed because of the current pandemic. Elon was on the Joe Rogan podcast recently, and he talked a lot about the Roadster. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. I'll put a link down in the description. He talked about how the Roadster is definitely delayed, and they have a lot of other things that they need to get done first. Right now, their first priority, which makes a lot of sense, is the Model Y, and they need to ramp up production. Model 3 ramp up took a long time, much longer than anybody anticipated, but they got there. Now with Model Y and building another gigafactory somewhere in the middle of the US, now it's much likely that they're going to have more than one gigafactory producing Model Ys before the year is over. And if that happens, then Model Y production ramp up will happen sooner than we all anticipate. Tesla is also working on building another gigafactory in Berlin right now, and there's been some stuff in the news about them clearing forests up there, which has been slightly controversial, but the fact that they're building another gigafactory in Europe is awesome. And that is another goal of theirs that they need to focus on before the Roadster can be produced. Also, the gigafactory in Shanghai is doing great, but they need to work on expanding that too. Gigafactories are huge, by the way. They're really, really, really big. And it's not the kind of thing that just happens overnight. Even if they can get to a production level, it doesn't mean that it's 100% complete. It just means it's complete enough to be building some cars or batteries or whatever is they're getting ready to produce. Once they get through all that, the Cybertruck is still next in line, and the Semi. And the Semi is going to be first. So the Semi is supposed to be hitting production sometime this year. It's not certain if that'll be delayed to next year, but after that, the Cybertruck is due for the end of next year. So if we're really expecting for Cybertrucks to start rolling out, then they have to get through all the other things that I just mentioned before they can really start to tackle the Cybertruck market. And if you look at how many people have ordered Cybertrucks versus how many people have ordered Roadsters, I think Cybertruck is probably a little bit higher on the list of priorities for Tesla for income. So in Elon's words, Roadster is dessert after all of those other vehicles. And let me explain why that's a really important statement. Tesla's going to be releasing the Plaid Drivetrain in the Model S. Check out my video up here and I'll explain a lot more about exactly what that is, but that's coming out in the end of this year. The Plaid Drivetrain is still a prototype, and it's going to be Tesla's first time ever making a triple motor in a car, and it's going to be some really cool technology. But if you know anything about the drivetrain that the Model S and X have had over years, there have been a lot of little tweaks to it, and right up until they released the Raven version of the Model S and X, which came out last year. And when they did, they swapped out the motors. So they used to run off of induction motors, and they changed those over to reluctance motors, or at least the front one is now a reluctance motor, which has to do with permanent magnet motors, and they just use less energy and they actually can run a lot longer. So the science of that is separate, but Tesla's been working on improving their drivetrains for a while. Now, if they're about to go into a triple motor drivetrain, this will be their first iteration of it. So if they're going to be putting their first iteration into the Model S, and then eventually into the Model X, and then eventually into the Cybertruck, that means they're going to have a lot of time to experiment, to practice, to build them out, to get customer feedback, and to really perfect the triple motor drivetrain before they produce their dessert, which is going to be the Roadster. As a side note, Elon also mentioned in the podcast that the base model will be 0 to 60 in 1.9. It entirely contradicts his previous statement where he tweeted out that the base model is unfortunately going to be 2.1 seconds instead of the 1.9 that was originally promised. He has gone back on that, and he has said that the fully loaded model will be even faster than that. So Elon's stoked about this car, and he wants it to be done right, and he's okay with taking some time to perfect the drivetrain before they actually build it in the car. Now, the last reason that this is important is because the new batteries that are coming out with Battery Day very soon, there have been a lot of rumors, a lot of leaks coming out in the last few days, and everybody's talking about how important a 1,000,000-mile battery will be, especially if vehicle-to-grid technology is going to be enabled, meaning you have a few power walls built into your car and you can use that for home energy storage. If there's ever a power outage on your block and your car is charged, you can just power your home from your car. And then once it's empty, you can go stop by a supercharger and fill it up and then come back and power your home for another couple days. That tech is only going to be available for the new batteries. So the new batteries, same deal. Tesla's going to be working on those over the next couple of years, and they'll be tweaking them. They'll be adjusting, making little fine tuning here and there. And at the end of 2 years of development, once they're confident enough, they're going to be building it into the Roadster. So I think that they're really trying to identify that the Roadster is a supercar, and they're going to put a whole bunch of super intense focus into making this car awesome. So yeah, it's a bummer that it's delayed, but I still think that it's great that they're putting so much effort into making it so awesome. And once these supercars are out, I can't wait for the videos of having Bugattis and Lamborghinis lining up next to the Roadster and see what happens. Please let me know in the comments below if you have an idea for a video. I've been getting a lot of DMs. All my social media links are down below in my Linktree link. Feel free to send me a message there. Thank you for all the suggestions. These have been great. And let me know if you have ideas for another video. Stay safe.